What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Poor Judgment. You know, by the time this episode's out, we've officially launched the podcast. We're here. We made it.
It's launch day, baby.
Launch day, baby. We thank you all for listening. We welcome you here. As always, I'm your co-host, David.
And I'm Marcus.
And we welcome you here. We got to start off, unfortunately, with an apology. You know, I thought about doing it almost like presidential, like being like old Ronald Reagan or not Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon being like, I let the American people down, and or Bill Clinton, I knew you'd be back. You know, I thought about starting off with an apology the official way, and I was like, you know what, we're just going to give it to them raw. We're just going to apologize to them.
Listen, we're not official people. I think they will see as this podcast goes on, this is exactly how we are. And this is how this podcast is going to kind of be ran.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, I don't even want to apologize to anyone.
You're like, fuck them anyways.
Yeah. This ain't your podcast.
This is our goddamn podcast. Well, yeah, and what we're referring to is obviously my fumble of the bag in the beginning. In the first couple episodes, I kept calling it poor decisions. This was one of them, was especially after we had mutually agreed we were going to change it to poor judgment.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like you fumbling the bag, right? That was originally what we were going to call the podcast, was poor decisions. Mm-hmm. And then you start looking up podcasts and there are already like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah. And we didn't want to kind of get confused later on down the line. You know, if this continues like we hope it does, I don't want that to be a problem.
Right, and I agree. And I was like, I mean, you knew me in the beginning. I was like, fuck them anyway. We're gonna stick to poor decisions. We're the goats. We gonna do this. This is our podcast. But you know, you talked me off the ledge, and we knocked it down to judgment. It was a better call, anyways.
Yeah, I don't see very many of them, if any at all. So we get to make it our own, right? Like, hopefully, we're the pioneers of the name, and people kind of listen to us and be like, oh, that's a cool name. And then they try to steal it from us. Yeah. And then we hit them with a cease and desist.
And then we're taking them to court like Justin Baldoni.
We're taking them to court.
Well, I wanted to say this analogy, but it seems like you were too much of my hype man to say. I was going to say it's like when you first meet a girl and you're first making love, like that very first time. You know, mm-hmm. The first time you make love to anybody, really. Well, your first time, it's bumpy. It's all over the place. Half the time you don't know, am I doing this right? Like, am I going to have to take her to breakfast after this? Like, dude, what kind of pillow talk am I going to have? Like, am I going to have to come up with topics? Like, you don't know. And you're like, how does it feel? Are you happy? And so
I wouldn't know I'm a virgin.
God praise.
Born again.
Second time around. We do it twice. So nice. We had to do it twice. Second quick thing is we also just want to give a shout out to my wonderful girlfriend and her sister, my future sister-in-law, Tori. They're both here in Vegas with me, and they both designed the logo that you see here on the podcast thing. So shout out to them. Thank them. They truly created the image that inspired us to do it. And so if you see it, shout out to them. Thank you.
Yeah, they did great. I mean, we didn't give them much. We just said, here's a little bit of an idea. And they came up with this freaking awesome representation of what this podcast is.
Yeah, absolutely. We just kept pulling up AI images. And at one point, Mark was like, hey, dude, we're just going to have to run an AI ran podcast with our name on it.
Yeah, it's true.
So, but yeah, we welcome you. And we were going to apologize, but I guess fuck them anyway. So welcome to Poor Judgment. So to start off our episode today, we're going to talk about probably the most underappreciated holiday in the entire year. The holiday that most people don't give a shit about, but when it's here, you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Nice. And it's a holiday that goes under the microscope. And the best gift you get is a grill. The worst gift you get is a finger painting that makes you look like the house that you sleep in, or a monster on the corner, or some socks that you probably can't even fit.
Very true. We're talking about Father's Day here, everyone. And as a newer father, I am slowly but surely realizing the gifts that I'm going to get are really not gifts. When the grill is given to me, that's because my wife wants me to grill. When the socks are given to me, it's because my wife is tired of seeing the socks that I'm wearing and she wants to see different ones.
There's a bunch of holes in the bottom of them.
They're still good socks, okay?
I don't give a damn.
Well worn.
Yeah, they've seen miles. They've been through trials and tribulations with you.
That they have.
Yeah, of course, we're talking about Father's Day. So shout out to all the fathers. Of course, congratulations to you, my boy, on, I think this is what, your second official Father's Day?
Yeah, technically.
Second official Father's Day. Also, shout out to, I ain't going to shout out no single moms, but, you know, I guess shout out to you. We're not going to give them too much praise. If you're like me, you know, I'm a stereotypical black child, so you know what that means. My dad's still out there looking for the cigarettes, the gallon of milk, or he's waiting until I join the NFL/NBA, one of those two, whichever one happens first. So shout out to the dad that's still out there looking. You're still MVP. We're still appreciated. We're still waiting for that milk. That cereal never tasted the same with water.
No comment.
My publicist has said I cannot comment. So anyways, you know, it's funny because I always like to make dark jokes like that, and it makes people so uncomfortable. Like when we were both working at the university, bro, when I flipped the monitor over and I was like, hey, you want to see a picture of my dad? And it was just a blank screen. That to this day shocks people. People still get shook by that.
It's so funny. I guess when you're talking about like people in universities and college and stuff, it makes a little bit more sense. But have a sense of humor. Like if you're gonna joke about it, then joke about it with you, rather than being like, "Oh, that makes me feel uncomfortable." Oh, I'm the one without a dad, okay? Like
I'm the one that should be crying. I'm the one that should be uncomfortable, not you. Right? Like if I can joke about it, motherfucker, you can joke about it. It's fine. I'm not gonna start boohooing. I'm not gonna be like, it's only okay when I say it. So if you are, shout out to you still nonetheless. So, of course, we're here celebrating Father's Day, so we're going to be having nice seltzers on this beautiful day. Hopefully people are grilling up the barbecue, getting ready. So what you pouring up today, my boy?
I figured I'd do a little ASMR. I haven't opened up my can yet, so...
Ooh, give me that crisp. God damn.
That was a good one.
That was hella good. Bro, the fader out here said, whoop.
This is a Simply Spiked passion fruit limeade. This is the last thing that is not beer or soda that is in my fridge.
Or hard liquor.
Or hard liquor that fit today's theme. So I figured spiked lemonade is close enough to a seltzer.
So the trash I got, right? It was so disrespectful. I just put it in my water bottle because I was like, I'm not about to give this any credit. You know what I picked up? I picked up that Sunny Delight seltzer. Bruh. Disappointment. Absolute ass water. I ain't gonna hold you. Because this was like they missed out on an opportunity to actually give you Sunny Delight spiked, right? Sparkling Sunny Delight, you can't fuck it up. And what these motherfuckers do, they fucked it up. Because next thing you know, I got seltzer that don't even taste like, it just tastes like orange seltzer. Like it's not even good. I'm not the biggest fan. And I don't even think it's gonna be one of those where like, oh, drink it numerous times, you'll love it. No, that's all cap. That's copium.
One and done.
Yeah, one and done. I'm not even gonna give them a shout out. Fuck them. How you gonna ruin my favorite childhood drink? Like the thing that gave me early childhood diabetes over here. Like you missed out on that chance, you know, to make me alcoholic and diabetic, but whatever. So anyways, with it being Father's Day, we decided we wanted to rank our top TV show dads. You know, I think this one hits a little hard home. You know, obviously I adopted your dad as my dad, but this one hits a little bit home because, you know, I'm sitting at home watching these shows and, you know, you see that dad and you're like, damn, how he stay? Like, let me get that. And also, you know, even when you did every day, you watch the show and you're like, damn, like, that's a good dad. Like, I aspire to be that. So in honor of Father's Day, we're going to rank our top 5 favorite TV dads.
And we're doing TV, correct?
TV. The only rule is it's TV.
Okay.
I
have the best movie one.
I'll ask you about
I just want to
that.
slip in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
The best dad, any fictional dad ever in cinematic history, is Robin Williams' character in Mrs. Doubtfire. You love your kids so much, you go transgender.
You put on a dress and a wig.
You put on a dress, a wig, not just dress and wig. You wear a full bodysuit. Old lady.
Oh, I see the point because he didn't even look good as a woman. Like you could tell that was a dude the whole time, but the fact that he put himself through that.
Right? For the love of his kids.
Oh, I didn't think of a good movie, Dad. You might have to circle back to me. I don't know. I mean, I see where you're at but then doesn't Big Mama count? Like Martin Lawrence Big Mama? Or is that different?
I think you can count it.
I don't even remember if he was a dad. I know he was a cop. I just couldn't remember if he was a dad in that movie.
I don't think so.
You don't think? I don't remember. I have to rewatch it.
Big Mama to go undercover.
He was just
something.
He was just a cop that just wanted to dress as a grandma to catch a criminal.
You know what? 2025.
Not above me. Let the pay hit.
Do you want to start first? Or you want me to start first?
Either or. Which one you want to do?
I have a couple. I'll start.
Okay.
So I'll go from 5 to 1. We just go back and forth.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. My number 5, coming out of Parks and Rec, a little unconventional father figure is Ron Swanson.
This mother. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
You have Ron Swanson as well?
No, but I was debating. The only problem I had was I could not remember if he was a dad. Like I could not remember. He has a baby, right?
I don't remember towards the end, but his girlfriend has 2 girls that he starts to take care of.
Oh, that's right. Because there was the episode where he was like sitting in the chair and they had done his hair and motherfucker.
And so that's where he comes in, right? He is such a loving father figure that he takes in children that are not his own. And if you watch this series, Ron Swanson is this like hard-headed, red-blooded American, like all these American values, stake, get rid of the government. And then he finds a girlfriend with 2 daughters already, and his heart kind of softens.
He's still about the stake in the low government, but he's just nicer about it now.
He's just a little bit nicer, a little bit kinder.
Damn, I thought about it because he was one of the first thoughts I had. I ain't gonna hold you, and I was like, I just don't remember if he was a dad. Like I could not remember for the life of me that show. And damn, that's a good pick. Fuck. Okay, good. All right, Ron Swanson. I respect that. Let's see. We're at number 5. Okay,
You're fine.
So I chose this one because I said this motherfucking Marcus is gonna come in here with a cartoon for sure. Me and Alexa both said that. We were like, bro, he's going to come in here with a cartoon. There's a cartoon dad somewhere on that list. I don't know what number it is, and I'm dying to know. But I said, we got to come up with at least one cartoon dad. So my cartoon dad is going to be Hank Hill.
He was on the list. He's not.
Oh, he was on the
original draft. He was on there.
Yeah, I was sitting there, and it's funny because, this probably is a conversation for a later time, but I was like, there has to be something to be said about how hard it was to find a cartoon dad. Like, I don't know if you struggled, but I struggled to find a good cartoon dad.
Correct, yeah.
Because I was like, it definitely ain't Timmy Turner's dad. That dude's absolute ass water. You got Jimmy Neutron's dad, who was absolute ass water. In fact, a beta male. And some of the shows, they didn't even have dads. I'm like, or the dad was, and I'm like, bruh, like, why can I not find a cartoon dad? What the fuck is this? So it makes sense. Like I had to go Hank Hill. I was like, he's the cartoon dad. He's there for Bobby, my boy. And, he teaches them the beauty of propane and propane accessories.
Listen, you can't fault a man who's just trying to make a living and provide for his family. Yeah. And that's exactly what Hank Hill does.
That's what he is. He's just a simple dad. He's just a dad that drinks beers with his boys on the lawn. You got to give him credit too. He always finds time.
He does.
Always finds time for the boys.
balance for the boys and for the family.
Thank you. All right, what you got at number 4?
Number 4 is my cartoon.
Oh, okay. Already, I thought it might have been a little higher up.
Well, pseudo. There's one coming, but this one's like my true cartoon dad.
Okay.
And even this one is kind of finicky. I did want to go cartoon, which is kind of nostalgic. I'm gonna go Nigel from the Wild Thornberrys.
Nigel from the Wild Thornberrys?
Nigel from the Wild Thornberrys. He's taking his children and introducing them to international, whatever you want to call it, cuisine, lifestyle. He even again, he adopts a wild child and takes him in his own.
You mean Dottie?
Dottie's out here just and he takes it in as his own, right? A crazy kid. You see that kid on the street and you're walking across the sidewalk. You're not getting anywhere in the vicinity.
You're literally watching it from across the street and you're like, damn, crack is a hell of a drug, bruh.
Not crack. You're looking at that kid nowadays and you're like, he took the COVID vaccine.
That's adulterated polio vaccine if I ever seen it. That's the unfiltered brand. That's that Kirkland brand COVID.
Listen, Nigel's just out here trying to introduce his family to other cultures. He's taking them on adventures. They're living well. He adopts a child that's born out in the wild. It's a good dad.
Let me make a counter argument to that.
Okay.
He's a dad who takes his kids out to the jungle, out into the African wild, where there's probably warlords, but they don't say that on Nickelodeon.
Okay, that's true.
And commits highest form of child endangerment. He got kids running around the African forest by them goddamn selves. Meanwhile, he's smashing.
You know what I hear from that?
What?
He's allowing independent study to raise strong-willed children. That's what I hear.
You know what? Your dads are starting to sound like a lot of, you guys are going to learn how to be independent children. You guys are going to learn
Get outside,
to fend for
go
yourself.
play, don't come back until the light turns on.
And I bet not see you in the kitchen either. This man said the child endangerment smashing. Okay. So for number 4 for me, I feel like I might have to put something in the cheat jar here because it's from a show, but it started off as a video game. For number 4, I actually have Joel from The Last of Us.
You are good.
Beautiful. Damn, I just wanted to pay for more liquor. So listen, I chose Joel simply because the man like you said with Nigel, Joel took a kid that wasn't even his, took care of her because she was supposed to be and sorry, spoilers ahead. She was supposed to be the child that's supposed to have the vaccine or help create the vaccine because she was immune to those creatures, those fungi and all that bull. And this man, after he lost his daughter, went through a character arc I ain't never seen before and started raising this girl as if it's his own. And even in season 2, when she becomes a total asshole to him, because yes, she does become an asshole to him in season 2, even after what he did in season 1, which I won't spoil, because it's an absolute banger show. Pedro Pascal, I won't call him daddy on this podcast, but sure, daddy. He sits over there and single-handedly takes care of business, brings her to a town, and helps raise her, and helps even set the town on straight. That is a man if I've ever seen one. That's what I aspire to be. Is Joel.
It's a good pick. That's good. I thought about it. As you'll see, my list has a theme. He fit the theme.
Distant
but
dads.
I had 2 better ones.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead, hit me with that number 3 then.
I think I'm going to change it up.
Okay.
I think I'm going to change my 3 and 2.
You know the rules. If you do this, you got to put $1 in the jar.
I'll put $1 in the jar.
All right, there it is.
My number 3, same theme, taking care of a child that's not his own. We're going Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z.
God
Goku
damn.
abandons his child. And Piccolo says, come here, Gohan. I got you. I'll teach you the way.
Bruh, I absolutely forgot about the GOAT himself,
Years.
Piccolo. Fuck, that's
Takes
a good pick.
years and raises this kid as his own.
God damn, yeah, Goku is literally the epitome of a black dad, and Piccolo is the stepped up white dad that Gohan needed and did not deserve.
Exactly.
Fuck,
At the
that's
end
a
of the
good
day,
pick.
Gohan did not give Piccolo the love that he deserved towards the end. And Goku steps in and is like, hey, Gohan, let's live life together.
The only way it could have been worse is if
bitch, but okay.
It's not my kid. I can't respawn, but you know what? I'm gonna raise this kid like he's my own.
Exactly.
The only way that could have been better is if Piccolo was smashing what was her Bulma. No, Bulma was Vegeta. Chi-Chi, yeah. That was the only way that could have been better is if Vegeta or if Piccolo, goddamn, if Piccolo was smashing Chi-Chi on the side and then been like, Goku really ain't here. I'm the new Goku now.
That would be great.
God damn, that was a good pick, bro. All right, well, thank you for joining us on Poor Judgment. Just end the podcast right there. That should be number 1. God damn. All right, damn. I'm stunned. That was a good one.
Well worth the $1.
Yeah, that was well worth the $1. Shit, I should put $1 in for the blasphemy alone. So number 3, I actually have these next 3 are kind of like, okay, you know, like it's gonna get that mushy, you know, stuff. I got Bob Saget or Danny Tanner from Full House.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
the man,
one of the top
yeah,
TV dads.
yeah, absolutely, easily one of the top TV dads. Just love the show, love him. You know, I mean, obviously, out of everyone in the house, I think he's the best dad. Not John Stamos' character, but Bob Saget, rest in peace. And yeah, I think that's just a clear, easy dub with that one. So
That's a good one. I had him on the list. I kind of you could go easily pick like 5 mushy dads, right? Like there's plenty of shows that recently have had really good dads, but you got to switch it up a little bit. But Danny Tanner is a fantastic pick for a mushy pick.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like my number 1 is a mushy pick.
So same as mine. And you know what I want to do? I want us to both say our number. Do you think we're gonna have the same number 1?
I don't know. I can't trust you anymore. Not after last time. I don't even know if that one's aired yet.
It hasn't even aired yet. I'm thinking about dropping it just so people can see how fucked up our differences were.
That one could wait.
Do you want to try number 1 together when we get there?
Yeah, we can try it.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be there, but we can try it.
Okay. So what's your number 3 then?
Number 2.
I'm
going to go The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Damn. Pedro Pascal, daddy number 2.
Right?
God damn. That's a good one.
Again, sticking with the theme, a father that's not truly a father that takes over the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like it, for the record, my dad is my birth dad. I know this list makes it feel like...
If there was any questions about it, he might not say it, but he is your dad.
Oh, he's my dad. There's
yeah, you act just like him.
Plenty of resemblance. But I can respect it, right? Like, you're choosing a kid that's not yours. It's a choice. And he is a bounty hunter. He's supposed to basically kill this kid. And he's like, nah, that's my son.
I just realized why you had to clarify about your dad.
My entire list.
Your entire list is about guys stepping up as dads and taking over. Your entire list is, yeah, man, he rose up to the occasion, dog.
He'd be like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, I was here your whole life. I
was here the whole time.
Yeah, what the fuck? Actually, your dad would be like, son of a bitch, I'll kick your ass.
No, here's the thing is I don't have to worry about it because the only way he's gonna get to listen to this is if I show him it.
That's true.
He's got no way of kind of filtering through YouTube or Spotify or anything.
He doesn't know how to reach Apple Podcasts. He doesn't even know he has it.
He'd be like, Apple, what?
He's like, I'm not paying for that shit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
No, that's a good one. Grogu, I mean, that whole series is terrific. And dude, that man's carrying that franchise. And
exactly. We can leave that for another whole conversation about how Star Wars is just absolutely ass, except for like The Mandalorian. Andor was okay, but that's a different time. Mandalorian has been the best, like, current Star Wars endeavor or whatever you want to put it as.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I full-heartedly agree. That's yeah. We'll have to have a rant session about that because
easily
as Star Wars fans, we're both salty about it.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna follow your lead here. I'm gonna switch it up to
so another $1.
Another $1. So we're done. Well, we're $3 in. $3 in.
Yeah, we'll call it 3.
3 or 2. I'm gonna switch it up because at first I have Cliff Huxtable, which was Bill Cosby.
Mm-hmm. Racy pick. Racy pick.
That is scandalous at best.
Wow.
I feel the Shrek meme all over me right now.
Don't eat the pudding pup.
Watch your drinks, cover your hands. I'm going to switch it up because I'm also going to pick a guy who took a child in that wasn't his, raised them with all of his children, died way too soon, and was probably the most honorable man in this show and was known for it. Are you closing your eyes? Because I think you know what I'm thinking of.
I mean, it fits the bill for my number 1.
I don't think it is because I don't think you've seen the show. I think I've tried to convince you to watch it. It's Ned Stark from Game of Thrones.
So I've seen Game of Thrones. I've watched the first 3 or 4 seasons.
You missed the whole best parts of Game of Thrones. The best part is like season 4 and 5. But you also avoided the worst, which was literally the last 2 seasons. So anyway, sorry, go.
Yeah. So, but I know who Ned Stark is.
Okay. Yeah, I chose Ned Stark because see, here's the problem. I want you to watch it, but I don't want to tell you the spoiler. He takes a... Okay. Major spoiler alert. Skip ahead like 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this part.
Jon Snow is not his son.
Right. So Jon Snow is not his son, and he takes him in and raises him as his own because it's actually his sister's kid.
Yes.
But tells him that you're basically my bastard. So he put on the terrible feeling of, oh, I've disgraced my family, I've cheated on my wife. He put that on to protect not just that kid, but also the dynasty of the Targaryen name, which he didn't even give a shit about the Targaryens. He thought his sister had been raped, but in fact, she was in love with a Targaryen and everything like that. And Ned Stark was the most honorable man. Throughout the whole series, they're like, oh, you're Ned Stark's son, which I think that speaks volumes. That's what I've always wanted to be. Like, if I ever have a kid go somewhere and they're like, hey, you're David Bryce's kid. Oh, you're David's kid. Leaked my name. You're David's kid. You know, you gonna be out here. You gonna be all right. We're gonna take care of you. So for that, I got to give Ned Stark number 2. And he's also less controversial than Bill Cosby.
Way less controversial.
A lot of us are still dealing with Ned's death. I don't know how many of us feel about Bill Cosby anymore.
I went through the list. Bill Cosby popped up, and I said, "Oh no!"
You do that face like you're like, I mean,
you ever seen the meme with Sully? He goes,
that or the Shrek, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my number 2, Ned Stark. All right. You want to do honorable mentions at all, or do you want to just go straight into number 1?
Yeah, I'm good for straight number 1. I don't really have very many honorable mentions.
The only other honorable mention I had that I kind of was trying to bounce on the list, I was going back and forth, was Alan Matthews from Boy Meets World.
Good one.
But yeah, my girlfriend reminded me, and the reason he's not on this list is because I don't think he was technically a dad. Was Mr. Feeney, though, was more of a father figure than anybody in that family.
Mr. Feeney was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't know if he was a dad, and I wasn't about to throw him up there. And you know, I was kind of over the mushy ones. Like, I got my good mushy one right in there. My first one's still a mushy one, though, so.
Okay. Mine is also mushy.
I feel like we are going to get number one. I feel it. I feel it this time. We got this.
Okay.
Are you ready?
You do the countdown.
All right. Number one pick in 3, 2, 1. Uncle Phil.
Philip Banks.
Yes!
Yeah.
Let's fucking go! That's what I'm talking about, my boy.
You know what?
Fuck yeah.
I'm surprised.
I'm surprised too. You know who I thought you were going to have at number one?
Who?
I got to be brutally honest with you. I thought you were going to go Tim Allen from Home Improvement.
No, I thought about it, but also he talks shit to his kids a lot.
He really does. He be mad shit talking. Don't get me wrong, them kids need that ass whooping because he be talking crazy to them, but they need it. But I seriously, I was like, he's got to have Home Improvement somewhere on there. This seems like your shit right there. And so that's
if I hadn't gone like the theme of father that's not a father, that Tim Allen would have been on there. But also Tim Allen's like a mushy one to me too, right?
Yeah, like he did have his good moments for sure. Yeah. My boy, fuck yeah. We finally 1 for 1, baby. Well, 1 for 2.
No.
Sorry.
1 for 2. 1 for 1 that the audience knows of.
1-0, baby. The audience knows. Uncle fucking Phil, baby. I knew it.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
Right. Like the scene where Will's dad leaves.
Preach.
And he starts crying. He's like, why does my dad want me?
Yeah,
and
why doesn't my dad want me? Dude.
Uncle Phil just brings him in.
Bro, that moment to this day touches my heart. That was the best acting I've ever seen from not just Will Smith, but also Philip Banks. I didn't write his real name. I know
I didn't either.
Yeah. He will always be Uncle Phil to me. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Dude, yes, that lives rent free in my head. And sticking with your theme of dads who stepped up to the occasion, that man was a father figure to Will, who didn't have his dad in the picture. Then when his dad came in the picture, he told him to fuck off, kick rocks, and then still took care of Will and raised him like his own. And he still took care of his 2 kids, even though they were spoiled brats in the show. But, bro.
But I mean, at the end of the day, he provided a great home, raised 3 successful kids. Like, what more can he ask for?
Absolutely. Shout out to Uncle Phil. Fuck yes. Oh, I'm glad because I was scared. I was like, this motherfucker is not gonna go Uncle Phil.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. Fresh Prince, yeah. Fresh Prince is still a top 5 show like ever, and I love that. And
it's
Uncle
great.
Phil. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Fantastic show. I would rewatch it all right
show.
now. Yeah, absolutely. I'd binge watch that every day. And whenever it's on TV and I just like randomly watch, I'll sit down and just watch it. I don't care. So let me ask you this, because I want to end it with a story, if that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you say is like the worst TV dad?
I thought you were going to ask that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do much research because I thought of it earlier today. I was like, what is his hot question going to be this week?
Hot fire question.
Who is the worst dad?
I'll tell you mine because, I was trying to, it was actually kind of easier for me to pick that one than it was for, I don't know, maybe it's a little controversial and it clearly dates us. I'm going Al Bundy, bro, for Married with Children.
Really?
Dude.
He does talk a lot of shit, but...
He talks bad shit. He barely loves his wife. Now, I will say, the boy grinds. The man grinds on his work. That boy puts in work every day. He comes to the office. He does his thing, deals with women's shoes. Man's a man. But he's just a shit father. Like, his kids don't know nothing. His kids don't know how to do nothing. He's just a shit dad, in my opinion. Love the show. Just a shit dad.
Now, I have, like, 3 that originally popped in my head. I'm, like, scrolling my phone real quick because I have a tab open of, like, worst dads. One that popped in my head before I looked this up is a mixture of started off good, ended up bad. and that's going to be Walter White.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Right?
almost on mine. Yeah.
Originally, the thought process behind it, I'm going to make money for my family. I'm going to die, going to leave them out of debt. And then all of a sudden you become the greatest kingpin of drugs there ever has been.
My name is Walter Hardball White. I live at 5'4".
You can then go into like one of the best TV series ever is The Sopranos. You can go Tony Soprano.
Okay.
Right? How bad is it to get your kids involved in the mob that you know is going to set up in either death or jail?
Roughly.
But I think the worst TV dad, and I'm going to keep it a little lighthearted, is going to be Homer Simpson.
Yeah, he was on there. Him and Timmy Turner's dad were on there for me of like
Timmy Turner's
worst
dad's
dad.
up there too, yeah.
Yeah, because the man's trash, and they're both trash. And Homer literally commits the child abuse at its finest.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's literally so stupid. You can't even hold him accountable for his own actions, let alone what his kids are doing.
Yeah, I agree to that. No, that's a fair one. All right, so I wanted to end this podcast off with a story for you. So I'll be brief with it. So I was working up in Reno, and while I was working, I had a coworker, right, who just became a dad, right? His wife had just given birth, and I think he was on maternity leave or fraternity leave. And what they liked to do up there in Reno was that they liked to do shout outs, like say, hey, happy birthday to this person, or congratulations to this person. So my direct supervisor had created an email and sent it out to the whole PD. And the email was like, congratulations to, his name was Kyle. Congratulations to Kyle on becoming a daddy. And then on becoming a dad. And she ends it with, congratulations, daddy.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, wasn't his wife. She wasn't his wife. She was 60 goddamn some years old, older than time, was married to a man who looked like Bernie Sanders was borrowing time from Madam Death himself, and sat over here and sent the entire department an email that said, congratulations, daddy. And when that boy came back, we bullied him for so long. Everybody would walk by him, hey, daddy.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, we were like, oh, you and that supervisor getting it down we don't know about, bro. And he never recovered from it.
That's when you just suck it up and you come in a full purple velvet suit with a cane.
Walking around like a Silk Johnson from the Chappelle
Exactly.
Show.
As you're walking down the hallway, I want to hear.
I gotta go put water in your mom's bowl dish at home. You gotta be the player haters ball all day for that. So I just wanted to tell that story because I thought about that and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. We used to call that guy. What? Nothing like having your supervisor call you daddy in front of everybody.
That's a good one.
Well, as always, we thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, follow the channel, and we'll see you next time on an exciting episode. We have something cooked up for the next one, a little spute and spout. So as always, we encourage you to pull up a seat, pour up a drink, and join us next time as we make poor judgments. Thank you.
Peace.